welcome to Red Dead Redemption 2. I've added a bunch of mods in order to turn this into an Undead Nightmare experience. This is a story about Arthur Morgan, and he's now finally on his last leg to cure John Marston. He accidentally shot John in the back of the head, and he revived as a zombie. But now we have all the ingredients, and all that's left is to find the place to combine them. We wake up from spending the night in the hidden cabin, safe from the zombies and the elements. Charles and Lenny were able to mark a spot on the map that would be our best bet. A place said to be powerful with ancient magic. Zombies were crazy enough, so we had to give it a try. John was getting worse by the day, so the team soaked up the sunlight, packing up their goods for the next leg of the journey. They had a long trek ahead of them, and they needed to be at their best. The zombies were only growing in numbers, and with numbers comes power. Larger groups of zombies started roaming the lands, and nowadays, it's rare to see people even on the trail. But John had to get back to his family. We can't just leave his wife and child at home with an uncle with lumbago, so it was time to head off. Or at least we tried to head off. We had a mini ambush from zombies before we could actually get going, but our shots were hitting, so we stopped them from progressing and then finally saddled up for the long journey ahead. But we had one more obstacle before we could actually go. Another small group came in for the ambush, but Arthur's still the sharpest sharpshooter in all the land. The team finally set out on the trail, the sun behind them and nothing but hope in front of them. Multiple groups of zombies on the trail and a poor stranger not knowing what was coming towards them. Arthur had to help, but the game was hitting their shots pretty good, and Arthur's new Colt pistol was working its magic still. This gun was a very good investment. The journey had just started and there were a bunch of bodies to account for it, but this is only the beginning. There are a lot more coming. And speaking of that, as soon as we got done with those zombies, we were ambushed by a group of bandits while we were in the middle of another horde of zombies. This was a fight for our life. We were shooting zombies, shooting bandits. Lenny was getting hit in the liver, but Arthur's seen some stuff, so these guys ain't gonna stop him. Arthur and the team dealt with the zombie and bandit combo, and it was time to finally hopefully get out of here before something else came and tried to kill us. So we followed the river for a little bit in the openness of the grasslands so we could have a 360 viewpoint. The forest had a lot of guerrilla warfare with zombies just hopping out the bushes, but while we were out on the grasslands, we did see a pretty cool sight we've seen for the first time in this zombie apocalypse. We had nature fighting back. A mountain lion was chomping on zombies, and Arthur was proud of that majestic beast. He never had the honor of skinning one, and he wouldn't make this one his first. He was just impressed there was still some alive, so we helped clear out some zombies surrounding the mountain lion to hopefully let it live a little bit longer, and we continued down the grasslands. It didn't seem like the grasslands were that much safer. There were still zombies roaming about, but at least they were easier to see. We ran past a few zombies and ran into a firefight on the farm. We were also followed by a group of zombies, so Arthur popped a few heads to clear our backline, even getting up a little close and personal as well to get the job done. The backline zombies took too long though. The zombies that were attacking the farmers on the farm had all perished, and now the zombies from the farm came to say hello as well. So it was time to get real personal. It was time for Arthur to go hack and slash once again, and hopefully he'd make it this time. Arthur was making it, but these zombies were kicking Foxy, so Arthur had to pump up the fists. He had to hit him hard enough to scramble them brains, and then there was one zombie alone picking on Foxy. Arthur made sure he never got up again. It looked like for the time being the zombie army had been quelled. We did however see John Marston get knocked out, but he's a zombie already. He'll be alright. So he picked his body up, and we had to chill at the farm for a bit until John Marston became conscious again. So Lenny and Charles patrolled the gate and the rest of the farm to make sure there were no ambient zombies around, and Arthur took John inside the cabin. We checked the cabin and tossed John on the couch, but he fell on the floor. He'll be right though. I guess it's better than being stuffed in the back of a wagon. And then Lenny and Charles joined Arthur inside. They had a couple hours to kill, and they already faced hordes of the undead as well as a few bandits. They took this time to rest up, smoke up, and get their minds right. So they shacked up in this cabin, but what happened next was unexpected. Nighttime had fallen and John Marston was still unconscious. A storm started to brew, lightning like you've never seen, and the undead were ravenous. You've never seen anything like this before. The undead rolled in just like the storm did, and it was a fight for survival. Arthur ran back inside the cabin to try and create a chokehold, but his partner and horse kept getting in the way. We didn't want to shoot anybody in the head again, so we went back outside. It was time to bring out the axe. These zombies were wielding weapons too, so Arthur and the team fought tooth and nail, with lightning touching down closer than it's ever been before, sparks flying, the wind gusting, zombies wielding knives and coming in from all directions. Storms like these were common now, but nothing to this degree. It was hard to even keep track of the zombies. The rain and thunder were so loud, you couldn't hear the footsteps, but we had to survive the night. But the horde of zombies just wouldn't stop coming. These zombies were relentless, but we weren't giving up though. Lenny, Charles, and Arthur were slaying zombies. zombies. Left, right, up, down, diagonal, wherever they came from, they were getting a bullet to the head. It seemed we had killed our last zombie, and the storm finally cleared up. It was daytime now, and the group had been fighting all night long. Zombie corpses everywhere, but they had did it. Everybody survived surprisingly, and it was time to move out. John had finally risen again, and we headed back out to our final destination. We weren't trying to run into any of those storms again. So the team left back on the trail, and for a change they saw something new. A shepherd and his sheep grazing in the grass, and they were thriving pretty peacefully, for the moment at least. The team continued down the path for hours. Thankfully, fewer zombies than yesterday roaming about. It made it easier to travel the path. They were making great ground today, but the team was out of food, and we saw the perfect opportunity to get some. Arthur saw some wild boar on the road, and they went for a little hunting trip. But of course, nothing goes smooth nowadays. We had to skin it, but first, we had to make sure the area was clear and safe. The zombies tried to eat the dead boar before Arthur could skin it, so we had to take them out first. So we cleared the area of the bigger incoming horde, and the gang covered Arthur while he skinned the boar and collected the meat. Now the team hadn't eaten for quite some time, so we needed to find a quick place to set up camp and cook some of this meat. So we rode on our horses for a few hours, and we actually stumbled upon a camp ourselves. The guy wasn't too friendly. We tried to convince him we were friendlies, and we were just trying to cook some meat. The guy pointed a gun at us, and of course the gunshots attracted more undead. Our new campsite needed to be cleared, so we got to clearing. The undead had been cleared, and it was time to make some food before more undead came. So we sat and enjoyed some of the most delicious pig you could ever eat, and continued our tiring journey until we finally reached our location. We reached the location, and of course it wasn't clear, so we quickly cleared the zombies and found what we were looking for. A place with magical properties where we can combine the ingredients we collected to hopefully cure John Marston. We put the ingredients we collected inside of this pot and let it brew for a bit. We then had to incapacitate John Marston. So we did what we did to him in the first place and shot him in the back of the head, but twice. Once he was unconscious, we took him to the curative pot and we threw him in, accidentally missing. So we threw him in once again, and that was close enough. The mist generated from this pot would be enough. So now the team had to wait. The next time John Marston arose again, he should be back to his old self, but only time will tell. The team set up camp and wait and could only hope for the best. We had to defend John Marston as he was being cured. The zombies seem attracted to this magical place, but we've handled way worse in the past. So the team defended John all night long, and John laid by the pot, letting the magical properties penetrate his undead body. John was resurrecting, slowly but surely. His wife and kid were waiting, but John needed to hurry up because Foxy can only take so many kicks, and Arthur can only take so many punches straight to the kidney. Damn.